Hello everybody and welcome to the Nexus Gaming Series. I am Jay-Zon and I've got a Division B West matchup here, a doubleheader coming in for Team Showboat. First matchup for them tonight is going to be against Kentucky Murloc Chicken, and we are going directly on in to the draft for game number 1. So let's do this. Dragonshire going to be the first map for this matchup, and really interested to see how both of these teams match up. I've actually faced Kentucky Murloc Chicken already this season and seen a couple of their matchups. I have not seen really any of Team Showboat, so it's going to be nice to see this doubleheader tonight, see how they match up against first Kentucky Murloc Chicken, and then they are facing Knights of the Round at 9 o'clock, which will also be on this channel, so it'll be coming up right after this one. I do want to give a moment to say thank you for that follow. Ready you, thank you very much for the follow. But thank you very much to, of course, Ace and the entire, casting and admin team for this really cool cartography. I got it working today. Hopefully it goes off without hitch down there. And I'm really looking forward to starting to wade into using these cool new tools that are available for all the casters. But meanwhile, first ban over on the side of Team Showboat, we're going to have the ban out of the Garrosh. So, I'm not at all surprised to see Garrosh thrown out first. He's a very strong hero in the meta right now. And actually, let's go over the drafts, or the map bans real quick. Kentucky Murloc Chicken was indeed the winner of the coin toss, and they decided to ban out Infernal Shrines. Practice Holdout was then banned out by Team Showboat. KMC then picking up Dragonshire here for map number 1. And then Team Showboat selected the Towers of Doom for map number 2. So the Stukov going to be banned out by KMC. Very good sustained support hero who's been just hyped pretty heavily overall. I'm not surprised to see that at all. Dr. Holiday, welcome to the stream. Let's go Showboat, he says. So we already got a fan of the Showboat here tonight. See if they are able to get this rolling. I actually, I'm going to check out the scoreboard real quick over in B West. Showboat's one of those teams that it doesn't appear like we've seen a whole lot of them yet. 2 matchups so far this season. They're 1-1 on the board. So all the potential in the world still, where a lot of these teams have already played 5 or 6 of their matches. They've only played 2, so they're going to do the 2 tonight. So we're going to get to see what they've got. So they go ahead and they ban out the Garrosh to start, and they're going to pick up the Diablo. So high prioritization by Team Showboat on the tank roll. I'll have to see if maybe there's a high prioritization from KMC on the support role. We did see, of course, the Stukov ban. The other major healer in the meta right now is, of course, the Malfurion. So I wouldn't be surprised to see them pick that up here, along with possibly another of the strong tanks. We see a lot of prioritization on the Varian recently, but we do also see ETC staying pretty steady in the meta as well. So wouldn't be surprised to see that at all. So there it is, ETC. And they are going to go ahead and start to corner the market on the damage dealers. So Hanzo has been very, very powerful in the meta recently. They're going to go ahead and pick that up as quick as possible here. Dragon. All right. 2 picks coming up here for Team Showboat. Do they want to go ahead and pick up a healer here before the turn and try and be able to apply that support chokehold? Diablo is a pretty good pairing with Malfurion. Has quite a lot of health, which allows Malfurion to get a lot of value out of the new healing mechanic of having that regrowth with the Moonfire constantly ticking up more heals as that dot rolls. But instead they're going to go to the Cassia and the Sonya. So immediately very strong frontline dive-in potential. Very good point control. And just in general, this team's going to be pretty good at getting back to the Hanzo. I think is one of the main ideas here. Hanzo, very, very good if he's allowed to sit back and poke you from a range, constantly get those angles and those arrows and that poke damage. Not well known as one of the better finishers in the game. He's more of a chunk hero. I wouldn't put him in the mage category, but he kind of, the damage that he provides kind of reminds me of that, where his job is to take a hero down to low health, and he does have the tools to finish, but only if he's unencumbered. And I don't really see that happening with Diablo and Sonya on the front line. He is going to be under pressure this game, but we'll see exactly what it shapes out to be. We do see the Rhaegar being banned out here, which is very interesting from KMC. They don't have their support player yet. They're looking to choke it out, which tells me that they probably want some kind of specialty support. They could still go into the Malfurion. It's still an option, but I wonder if they're looking for anything a little bit off meta here. The Cassia has been picked up by Showboat. Cassia, of course, loves playing with blinds, so maybe could be thinking towards a Lily here. It's a little bit off meta for sure, but we've seen some good improvements in her play. Definitely not as strong a healer as Malfurion or the Uther right now, but does hold her own in that department. And it gives you those blinds to be able to really enable the Cassia. But another ban coming out here. Maybe banning a solo laner. We could see maybe Dahaka. Nope, they will go to the healer ban. So right now, both these teams kind of burning the support position all over the place. Not wanting those standard healers, but also not wanting the enemy team to have them, which makes a lot of sense. Meanwhile, for the side of Kentucky Murloc Chicken, I'd really like to see them... they can go ahead and pick their solo laner here if they want. Ideally, you want to pick up either the support... ideally, you want to pick up the support here. You want your pick of the supports that are left for KMC. Also, Sonya's already picked up on the other side, so you know what the solo lane matchup is going to be if you're KMC, but you kind of want to flex that last pick, right? You know, if you want a melee assassin, or if you want a second backline, if you want a second support or tank, or whatever you want to be able to flex it at the end of this draft. So, I wouldn't be surprised to see their solo laner come out here, maybe a Dahaka, possibly the Leoric as an answer to Sonya, and there it is, the Leo, and they'll pick up Lucio as their healer, so a little extra mobility, a lot of sustain, but Lucio's fallen off quite a bit due to the burst damage nature and the mobility that's already in the game. I feel like more and more of these mobility heroes have been rising in the meta, which kind of stifles what Lucio really brings to the table, which is adding mobility to the team overall. And Lucio doesn't bring quite as much, but you do look at the heroes that KMC has. The Leoric, the Hanzo, the ETC, none of them have great mobility. You know, you got Slide on ETC, you've got the Wraith Walk, you've got the natural agility from Hanzo to jump over the walls, but nothing's going to make them be able to really disengage super well when they look to try and retreat, especially with the Hanzo if he's not near a wall, so a little extra speed to be able to get away from Sonya and Diablo can be very useful. And the Brightwing and Kerrigan coming out here from Team Showboat, so aggressive is this comp. Not only that, but the Brightwing able to jump in there, probably phase shift built, and able to Kerrigan and the Sonya on the front line. And most importantly, to aid those divers, you've got the Emerald Wind to be able to try and split them up when that dive does occur. So very, very interesting here. Dr. Holiday, welcome to the stream.
My grasp.
My boy Axe Foley gonna body some people on Big Diablo. Okay. Oh, we'll have to look out for that, for sure. Watching the Diablo play this game coming out. Team Showboat. We got a couple of fans, for sure, hanging around. Maiev is going to be the last pick. So AMC does flex it. Does go with the melee assassin to try and with a little displacement, but a little bit worried here. We'll see if the displacement is good, but I feel like the aggressive comp from Team Showboat should allow them to be the aggressors and the ones trying to pull people out of position. But let's see if that ends up being the case indeed as we head into map number 1 here on Dragonshire. I want to thank everybody for coming out today. Gonna be a fun double header on a Saturday night. I'm certainly looking forward to it. And we are loading in here to game number 1 on Dragonshire.
Prepare for combat.
See, there we go. I remember how to do this, ladies and gentlemen. On the left, it is going to be Kentucky Murloc Chicken. We're going to have Goku on the Leoric. Shadow Leaves is going to be on the Maev. Undead. 752 going to be on the ETC. The Sharp One is going to be playing Hanzo. And Norian going to be on the Lucio. On the right, Team Showboat. We're going to have Blue Popsicle playing the Sonya. We're going to have Axel Foley on that Diablo. Yonner is going to be playing the Cassia. Lampico is going to be on the Kerrigan. And Dav on the Brightwing. Right away, we're going to see the 2 solo laners moving to top. The 4v4 in the mid. This is not a fight that KMC really wants early. You can see that from their posturing. Shadow Leaves is mounted, is staying in range to maybe be able to dive in and try and pull somebody who's going to be out of position. See him kind of eyeing Yonners a little bit there, but the rotation is still here. Lampico goes in. They get the stun out onto Undead. He's going to be in all kinds of trouble. He's not going to make it away. Shadow Leaves trying to help him out there, zoning with the Umbral Bind, but not quite able to find it in time. And that's not the kind of support that Norian can give you on the Lucio. You cannot deal through that burst damage from the Kerrigan and the Diablo, and of course the Cassia, who deals quite a lot of upfront damage. Is still considered a sustained damage dealer, but with that ability to jump in with the Fend, be able to really get a lot of that burst damage out on the Kerrigan combo. It's going to be a tough. It is going to be a very tough engage to deal with for the side of KMC. Be difficult for them to be the aggressors. We do see Lampico quickly rotating to the camp here. Nice early prioritization by Team Showboat on the macro. The Sharp One is going to go to get the siege camp in response, which will allow the opportunity for invade for Team Showboat if they elect to go ahead and try and go here. But we are going to see Lampico rotating to the mid for that. So kind of sharking around a little bit on the Kerrigan. Gonna find Undead hanging around in a bush up here in the Bermuda Triangle of Dragonshire. We actually get these talents up here for you. We do have both shrines being held early here by Team Showboat, and they are pushing in hard into this bot lane. Already a good portion of this front wall gone. The slide in from Undead can result in a little bit, but he's gonna be overpowered for his trouble. Gonna have to go ahead and walk his way on out of there. Camp is taken care of, though, over on the side of Kentucky Murloc Chicken. I've got Maev zoning here in the mid, denying Lampico the chance to really get in on that. Leoric is going to end up falling in the top lane to Sonya. So right away, a little bit of an advantage here for Team Showboat. Blue Popsicle, clearly not making it out with too much help, but is able to make that work for the moment. Oh, however, in the mid, Shadow Leaves not quite able to keep Kerrigan at bay, and that is going to be the first Dragon Knight going over to the side of Team Showboat. They're going to be pushing in here in the bot lane, where they've already got the front wall. They've got the minion wave rolling in. They've got a 3v3 plus Dragon Knight, so that is a very scary prep position. The overpower and the charge into the wall. They're going to see Undead sliding out. Norian going to be trying to heal him up, but once again, it's kind of a rough engage moment here. They can't really push into this Dragon Knight. So much pressure coming in from Yonners and Axel Foley here. Shadow Leaves maybe looking in, but he's going to end up allowing that Phantom to expire there. Not going to dive in. I'm going to see that phase shield come down onto Diablo. Axel taking a little bit of damage here. Down to about half health, not wanting to risk it. Good call. They get some damage on the front wall. They get the entire bottom fort, and they are just going to go ahead and say, we don't want to overstay. We've got a pretty comfortable lead here. We've got Sonya double soaking Don't need to really risk anything. Goku waiting in here, trying to slow the rotation of Blue Popsicle, but he's just going to go ahead and spear. He knows he wants to get back to that wave and get as much of that XP as he can before it evaporates into the ether. A couple of these builds here. Hanzo going full scatter shot build. Blue Popsicle had scouted out that they're on this camp. The spear not quite able to get around, but Norian's got to be careful. Norian very low, but with no real sight on where blue team is. Blue Popsicle not going to risk it. I like that call. Nothing wrong with scouting it and walking away. You don't always have to go in when you find it, so. Nothing like an Overwatch hero to add a little mobility. You're right, Z. You're right. For sure. A lot of mobility coming into the game from the Overwatch heroes. John Knight, we got a KMC fan in here as well, so both sides represented in the chat. Once again, everybody coming out tonight. You know how your night's going. About a half-level lead for Team Showboat. That's how their night's going right now. See Goku and Blue Popsicle back and forth here in the top. Camp has been capped and in the top for the side of Team Showboat. They have cleared out the camp from KMC. And the invasion here, but look at KMC waiting in the shadows. Axel Foley will walk in and check that bush and find them lurking. Pico does hit the combo out on Undead, and for now, we're going to go ahead and back up here. I think that was a good opportunity for KMC to try and take a fight pre-10, but that doesn't necessarily mean they can win it. It's a pretty rough team fight for sure, with the Kerrigan and the Cassia and the Diablo. Very strong engage, very scary to have to fight into. They might just be waiting for the 10s and for that sound barrier to really be able to help them engage. But they got to be careful here. They are losing the map objective. And yeah, Lampico in perfect position. And once again, Team Showboat on KMC's map pick, really dominating the macro play. They use their 10s to really be able to zone them out here. The charge and the follow-up is good from Yonners there. Axel sets him up. Yonners knocks him down, and that's going to be the third kill of the game going over to Team Showboat. Dragon Knight pushing in here into the mid. Going to start working on the keep front wall. Blue Popsicle is rotated down, so this is a full 5-man assault team. And level 10 still just a few ticks away for Kentucky Murloc Chicken. They will pick up the 10s. Oh, but the charge in onto the Hanzo. And ladies and gentlemen, you want to know how to counter a Hanzo. There it is, Axel Foley getting in there with the charge, getting the angle on the angle. Master Hanzo. Shadow Leaf's going to have to vault to dodge that damage from Yonners. Axel Foley in a little bit deep, getting some poke damage from the keep. And Hanzo actually has left the game, but since he was dead, don't want to interrupt the team fight unnecessarily. We'll let the teams go ahead and sort that one out. Like he is back, and before we get the bots affecting things in the game. It looks like I actually was not set to referee. That is my bad. So we are gonna have to have the teams unpause. Communicate that to these guys. So it'd probably be better if I... Okay. Yep, they got the message. All right. Sweet. Yeah, we got a couple of weird UI errors in still, guys. I apologize for those, mostly on behalf of Blizzard, because I don't actually control it. But the mana bars, I can see also the shield bar on the red team is not showing the shielding on the core. So a couple little errors. Don't worry too much about it. It is as you expect it to be. All right, it looks like these teams have it ready to go. They're going to count it down. They're going to be back in here into the Nexus. Team Showboat, once again, not overstaying their welcome. And I like that call. You know, at the end of the day, they get in there. They get a very nice, you know, victory in terms of getting that mid keep here at sub 8 minutes. And they get out. They know that they're not going to be able to end the game there. They're not going to be able to siege up into other structures. So they're going to go out to lane. They're going to start getting the soak rolling. They're going to look to see if they can charge in onto any camps, which right now, 10 seconds before the bottom camp is up. But they are looking to engage here with their 13 talents here. Now Pico goes in and is going to go ahead and pop the ult. We're going to see the ball lightning coming out as well. Warden's cage to trap them in with the sound barrier, but ETC not quite able to survive there. Sonya is in top, so this is still a 4v4. But Hanzo going to end up being the next to fall. Shadow leaves very low. They get the Brightwing on the back end, but that's still going to be a 1-for-3 exchange in favor of Team Showboat. And meanwhile, Sonya up in the top lane, popping that Wrath, able to get through the top wall, getting that extra soak value, and actually going to take a bit of a risk here with the camp. This a pretty bold call, not necessarily a bad one. Goku is going to be able to scout it out, and Blue Popsicle is going to walk away. Again, great map awareness, great shot calling here. It's sticking around. Just in case the enemy team doesn't send enough to commit to it. And I like this, they're split. The rest of the members are down here grabbing this bottom camp, so they prevent the invasion of the top camp, but they get the siege. Now triple camp here in the bot lane. Oh my goodness, Team Showboat showing us how it's done on Dragonshire. This is setting up a clinic here. Not only that, but they've got Sonya up in the top right, picking up that camp. They got themselves the bottom shrine. A ton of damage coming out onto Leo. The Umbra Bind is going to pull Axel Foley back a little bit as the APOC comes out and will not find any targets. We got 4 of these Rock Bros throwing their stones. Once again, it looks like we may have a DC we need to resolve here. Yep. All right. Go ahead and back up for a moment and get reconnected. But yeah, just a great showing so far coming out here from Team Showboat. They are playing very dominantly in terms of the macro and the rotations. Also, I really like how they're not having to be stacked as 5 constantly to be able to get good dividends on the map. They're doing a great job of rotating each individual member, getting these objectives that they want to get done efficiently. And then, you know, not overstaying. They're just quickly rotating out, get advantage elsewhere to get that soak. They're 3 levels up right now on Kentucky Murloc Chicken, and that's just pure macro play. There's really nothing else to it. But we do have the reconnect in. Go ahead and jump back into the Nexus once again. Blue Popsicle gonna go ahead and rotate in to the top to go ahead and grab this, and look who's in position. Ready to cap this DK. Well, KMC having to deal with a massive wave here in mid. We've got the camp pushing in top, and the Dragon Knight going to be capped once again by Team Showboat. And it looks like they are ready to march it directly down mid, go after this core. The Polymorph And the damage coming down onto Leo. The March of the Black King comes out. Does give him some nice healing back. Sound Barrier is going to come out as they look to try and turn. The Shadow Lead goes in. Does hit the Umbral Bind here, but not quite able to get any pulls out of it. Warden's Cage, not quite able to find what they want. They do kill the Cassia. There's a trade out here. Lucio for Cassia. Dragon's Arrow comes down as they're out looking after the Brightwing as well. Sharp One, not quite able to find the mark there though. With that Scatter Arrow, to be able to take Dav down. And Dav going to quickly hit the B button, but you can bet that Mount is probably available. Come back in soon. Meanwhile, Sonya has been pushing with this in the top lane. Dav does phase shift in, give Blue Popsicle that shield, a little extra sustainability here. I like this build coming out from Dav on Brightwing, by the way. The extra damage from the polymorph on level 4. Sticky Flare, a little extra slows on that Q as they try and chase with these combos. Very efficient use of some of these slightly lesser meta picks in terms of these talents. Really catering to what is needed in terms of supporting the team's objective. I love it. Gotta watch out. 5-man rotation coming in. Axel Foley gonna find Leo. Does Wraith walk away? For now, they're just gonna look to pick up the camp. They do have the other Siege that was just capped marching in bot here, so they can look try and escort this to get a little more damage onto the keep. Stage dive is available for Kentucky Murloc Chicken. They do have ETC soaking up in that top lane, trying to work their way towards level 16, but they're not there yet. I see the poke coming out onto Goku. Taking a little bit of damage to start here. Wraith walk back to avoid some of that damage from the Honors. But mostly what they're doing right now is they're just zoning for these Siege Giants. So they're going to start chucking their stones at the keep here. And just chunking it down. ETC is getting the fort in top. He's getting some good value in the split push to try and help them catch up. They lose a keep in response, which is a pretty tough trade here for Kentucky Murloc Chicken. I'm not sure there was a better option. But look at the stage dive. 3-man arrow. We're going to see them going in here with the March as well. We're going to have the Warden's Cage coming out from Shadow Lead. He gets charged in the wall in response. Right now it's a 1-for-2 though, favoring them. Dav is going to end up going down. Norian zoning and Sonya falls. Axel Foley, the final member left, but he finds the Hanzo, shoves him into the wall and takes him down. Axel Foley staying alive forever. But even Diablo, with all those souls, not quite able to keep himself alive. The core takes some damage. That was exactly what Kentucky Murloc Chicken needed to get back into this one. They got 3 members alive, which is just enough to be able to try and cap these. Norian's got to be careful, though. Axel Foley is still stalking around. He had the souls to come back, which of course is both a blessing and a curse. Oh, undead. That feels bad, man. Having to deal with these minions. They will still cap the Dragon Knight, though. Axel Foley actually aggroing the camp. You're going to be able to see that they're here, but most of the members of Team Showboat are up. They are going to go ahead and leash the camp, however. A couple members of KMC having to drop back to clean up the core off this bottom lane. This is their opportunity to start to make a comeback. They have the top fort down. They're going to focus on this bottom fort, which is a great call. Bottom lane definitely a priority here on Dragonshire, where 3 of the camps rotate into this bot lane. No camps rotate to the mid lane, so definitely not the priority lane, but we do see them going in and trying to get a front wall here, trying to catch up on XP. They've pulled it to within half a level. Pretty impressive here for KMC, considering how far they were down. But the Dragon Knight is pretty much toast at this point. We've still got 20 seconds, but only that 2%, so looks like they're mostly trying to use it for wave clear. And for now, Undead will go ahead and hop out of it a little bit early. And they will look for camps. And look for that 20. Great defense here from Team Showboat. Bottom line, they don't give up even a fort out of that. The top fort was taken by that split push from ETC while they were getting that bottom keep. So overall, they really don't... They lose a couple of fort front walls, and that is it from that Dragon Knight. Pretty solid. We're going to see Axel Foley sharking around once again, looking to see if they can find anybody out of position. We're going to check the bottom camp. Undead going to come in and check it. Face checks it. Does hit the face melts. It doesn't get just put out of place here. Slide is good to zone them out. Warden's Cage is going to get locked in, but the blow-up damage coming in here from Team Showboat. And they quickly get a 4-for-0 exchange. The sharp one, the only one left alive to tell the tale. And just like that, Team Showboat going to be rotating in towards the mid, and they are going to be looking for that keep with multiple members down for 40 seconds. They've got waves in both the top and bottom lane. This should be easily enough. And Team Showboat found the fight that they were looking for, and they got on that so quickly. Kentucky Murloc Chicken never knew what hit him, man. They thought they had the combo. But it was indeed Team Showboat that had the combo. Dominated throughout most of this match. Gotta give a lot of credit to Kentucky Murloc Chicken. They had a good moment there where they came back and they were starting to get a little bit of momentum. Boy, did Team Showboat come back in that last fight. And that is going to net them game number 1 of this series. Don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. We got game number 2 coming out here on Towers of Doom. We'll see what Team Showboat can do on their map choice. All right. Get this lobby set up for these guys, but while we're waiting, how are you guys doing? Occasionally glance over at the chat every once in a while. Set this up. Let's Goku in here. And of course, I know there's a 2-minute delay, so, you know, I'll ask the question and I'll wait for the response. Yeah, fighting in that chokehold, rough comp that Team Showboat had. It's a lot of AoE damage. A little too tough to overcome, I think, there. All right. Like we got everybody piling on into the lobby. One more. Ah. We missed a team. We were so close. Huh. Prinavas says, that face check, oof. Yeah, yes and no. As ETC, I feel like he's okay the face check a little bit without having to worry too much. And he face melted right away to zone. So they didn't really get anything out of him face checking. They then, you know, they engaged in the chokehold, and I feel like that really was what was rough for them. They just did not win that team fight in the chokehold. Yeah, they didn't want to fight. Yeah, Zol rules. Yeah, exactly. Did not want to fight in the choke point. Well put. So far, my power rankings for them have been correct. That's good. Z-Doc, everybody. For those of you guys who don't know, he is the numbers master here in NGS. Great job providing us with that sweet, sweet info that we all can base our opinions and ideas off of for how strong these teams are going to be and who should win what. I'll be sad if I don't see Medivh on Towers of Doom. I agree. Very strong. He's very strong on this map in particular. All right, this was, oh, yes. Let's make me ref, too. All right, I'm referee. Got everything right in the lobby, I think. Let's make sure KMC is ready to go. They're close. Yeah, Medivh actually. Yeah, John Knight's got the right idea. Medivh, I think, is good on any map in any situation right now. PoE. Let's all right. Get this underway. Game number 2. Be heading over the Towers of Doom. Kentucky Murloc Chicken looking to bring this one back, get themselves a draw here in week number 3. Team Showboat looking to set themselves apart from some of the other teams here in Div B West. This only their 3rd match of the season. Actually, I gotta take a look. Yeah, draw to subject to change in week number 1. And a win against Reborn Knights Red. Did they just not play last week? A full bye week last week. I know how that is. We had a full bye week the first week, so they just didn't play any games last week, and they've got both their games tonight, so. That means they're going to have a pretty full schedule moving forward for Team Showboat. We're going to see a lot of them in the upcoming weeks tonight, where they really get to showcase what they've been working on for the last couple weeks. I will say this much. Picking up that week 1 draw against Subject to change. Subject is one of the top teams right now in the division, so it's pretty impressive overall. Good indicator of their strength level right now. I will say, for the record, I've been getting this. I've been getting feedback from a lot of the BOS teams, which of course I am in this division as well, and agree with what I've been hearing. There's good competition, good equal power level amongst the different teams here, and it's been very enjoyable to both watch and experience. But anyway, let's talk about these bans a little bit, right? Diablo and Stukov being banned out here. So once again, another team wanting to deal with the Stukov. Very annoying to have to deal with that silence, and of course the respect ban, just straight up from Kentucky Murloc Chicken here, saying no thank you to the Diablo. Didn't want to see more of that Diablo play here. Good old Axel Foley putting on quite a show in game number 1. Garrosh picked up, though, for KMC. Garrosh very strong in terms of his displacement. Can be, but it is pretty heavily execution-based. You know, at the end of the day, it depends on how good your team is at following up and how good the Garrosh player is individually at being in the right place at the right time to find those priority targets. Now, Malfurion is great follow-up to it, absolutely. And the heal is very strong on the Garrosh to pair with his heavy amount of armor when he's at low health. Can make him very sustainy when he starts to get at those critical low health points. Dr. Holiday confident in that 2-0. And Chronovast wants the TLV. We'll see. TLV is one of those specialty heroes we see brought out every once in a while, particularly on Cursed Hollow and on this map. Of course, famously good at Garden of Terror, which is not in the current ranked map rotation, thank goodness. But not terrible on this map with that global ability to be everywhere and be able to have those Vikings available to cap if they're not being contested on these altars. I don't know. We'll see. So we'll see on the back half if things start to get weird. I will say for the record, you don't really want to take Vikings against Li Ming because of those extra reset potential. But it's an interesting follow-up strategy here for KMC. Li Ming taken very early in the draft here. She has not been at nearly as high a contested hero as a lot of other heroes in the meta, such as Hanzo, as we see the ban out there from Team Showboat. But good follow-up to the displacement and CC potential. If they can get that burst damage out onto the throw target when he's rooted, Li Ming does have the tools to be able to blow him up, especially post-7 with that Calamity. Uther going to be the ban out here from Kentucky Murloc Chicken. And I really like that. They have their healer already in the Malfurion. They want to take out the best burst control in the game, which is Uther. Great at denying that burst potential with D-Shield, with the Cleanse. And just in general, pretty bursty heals with the armor. That if all those fail, you got another tool just in the raw healing power itself. Tychus and Junkrat picked up here. It's an interesting draft rotation from Team Showboat. They pick up all but their support, and they're going to go ahead and flex their support player last here to see exactly what Kentucky Murloc Chicken has in the damage pool area to really know how they want to, what healer they want to pick to really counter the damage. That's definitely one way to go. They already have their solo laner. They could have also flexed out the damage, but they already know that it's going to be a Malfurion healer, so they already have an idea of what they want to do, which is isolate the Garrosh, have that percentage damage to be able to blow him up, and have some displacement on their own with the Junkrat. So a lot of times I'm not a fan of waiting to the last pick to pick your healer, but this is one of those situations where I think it's okay. They knew what they wanted to do. They knew they had the solo laner already. There's no reason to flex that last pick because they know what damage they wanted. But they don't know quite what healer they wanted because they didn't know what kind of damage. Now that they see it's Greymane and Thrall, they know it's heavy CC, so they will definitely want to get a cleanse here for Team Showboat. It's going to be heavy blow-up potential with a Greymane, so they'd like to have somebody who's got good burst healing and who can really help save somebody, and they're going to go ahead and pick the Lily, which has the cleanse, has the blinds to be able to deter Greymane and Thrall's damage on the point, and has those cups to be able to try and power heal somebody through that burst damage potential combo. I love this draft coming out from Team Showboat. They are on it tonight, ladies and gentlemen. They are going to be tough to beat. I will say for the record, Kentucky Murloc Chicken does have some very nice Sonic potential and some very nice CC and damage combo potential, but we'll see how well they do with the disruption from the Junkrat mine and the tools that are in Team Showboat's toolbox here to be able to try and deal with what KMC is trying to do. And it's hard to not look at that first map and not be confident in Team Showboat playing their matchup the way they want it. Just the way they played that was very strong. But either way, we are loading in here to game number 2. On the left, we're going to have Kentucky Murloc Chicken. It is going to be Goku on the Thrall. The Sharp One going to be playing the Greymane. Norian on Malfurion. Shadow Leaves on the Li Ming. And Undead 752 going to be on the Garrosh. On the right, it is Team Showboat. Blue Popsicle is going to be on the Sonya. Lampico is going to be on the Junkrat. We're going to have Yawners on the Tychus. Dav is going to be on the Lily. And Axel Foley going to be playing the ETC. May Garden of Terror never return to the tournament rotation. I agree with you fully, Krenavas. I'm sorry I brought that up at all. Can we just call it the map that shall not be named from now on? Pico gonna go ahead and jet his way on down to the bot lane with that grenade. And the early wave clear and rotation advantage going over to Team Showboat. Kentucky Murloc Chicken looking to see if they could find anyone. Axel Foley thinking about going on the members here in the rotation. He ends up thinking better of it. Go ahead and walk away for now. Putting the fear of ETC, fear of the cow, into Kentucky Murloc Chicken early here. I like the aggressive rotating. This is definitely scouting. Putting on a bit of a show tonight, showing us how the tank role is played. Pico here in mid, we're going to get that soak. Now neither team really in a huge XP advantage. Both teams doing a nice job of clearing. Who's going to rotate to the camps first is always my question here on Towers of Doom. It looks like right now Shadow Leaves scouting it out, not really doing a ton of damage to it. Just making sure that Team Showboat not getting cheeky here with these early rotations. In the top lane, Thrall versus Sonya. Blue Popsicle is going to go ahead and get started on the camp. We'll see if Goku is going to end up scouting this out. He does notice the Sonya is missing. Is going to go ahead and go up and check. Finds Blue Popsicle here. Going to go in and start knocking around these a little bit himself. Actually misses with the wolf there. While in the mid, a little chippy, but we'll go ahead and take a look back up here. This is a matchup that Goku absolutely cannot win. Realizes that, and he's gonna smartly walk away and get the camp. It's just a sapper camp. It's nothing that's gonna hurt too bad. But definitely Goku needs to stay alive for that XP in the top lane, playing that solo laner. So good disciplined play there by Goku. Sonya is gonna get some nice value from these sappers that are gonna go ahead and charge into the wall and completely decimate the top half of that wall. But both teams are going to be level 5 going into this altar phase. We are going to see a bit of a toss there to force them back. Luke does come out. Right now, Axel Foley and the gang taking a step back. But both these camps have been picked up here and are going back and forth. It looks like in the top lane, both teams just going to be satisfied to trade out these altars as they start to go in towards the mid altar. Sonya going directly to top. So right now, Team Showboat not really wanting to prioritize. Axel Foley actually gets tossed in after the slide. Not going to be able to get out there. And that's going to be first blood going over the side of Kentucky Murloc Chicken. They're also going to go ahead and get that cap just as Lampico had the ability to interrupt it there. Now we'll see both teams returning to the laning phase with a slight XP lead here for the side of Team Showboat. We're going to get the rest of that front wall that Blue Popsicle had been starting on. Goku rotates up to soak, and for now both teams are going to level out on XP here a little bit. Yawner's actually doing some nice poke damage. Does have that in the rhythm talent here. That can look to get quite a lot of value out of that throughout the game, especially on the Garrosh. Gotta be careful though as he steps up into the Garrosh. At the end of the day, what Garrosh likes are stationary targets that he can just walk up to, throw, and hit that combo Groundbreaker to follow it up. Tychus can have trouble with that on occasion. I'm gonna go ahead and give the pause here as Greymane has DC'd. And we'll take a step back. Right now, pretty even overall. We can take a look at a couple of these talents. Was indeed Echo of the Elements here for Thrall, which is the standard when you are in that solo lane. Block Party coming out for ETC early here, going into the Echo Pedal. It's a little extra damage off of those abilities. Pretty standard all around here. Oh, very interesting. Lily not going into the cleanse. Taking the good stuff at level 7 for that extra additional heal over time. That is an interesting choice here. I don't know if I agree with it. Full Calamity build coming in from Li Ming here, Shadow Leaps. 3 on the Groundbreaker so far, so KMC not quite finding the combos they want here in the first 4 minutes of the game. But not a whole lot of fighting or scrimmaging so far. A little bit of fighting in that mid area over that altar, but that's about it. Otherwise, both teams have been pretty much rotating like ships passing in the night. So, not a big shocker there. But yeah, I'm interested to see if Cleanse ends up being something that Team Showboat ends up wishing they had taken. We'll see. It's going to be a Wizened Duelist coming out for Greymane. With Eyes in the Dark. Gotta love that stealth potential. We got the clock on this. I didn't count the ones earlier, though. They were pretty quick overall. We'll keep an eye on exactly how long. So far, the DCs haven't been too bad, but we're getting reports that the modem error, so this one's going to be a couple of moments, it looks like, before we are ready to go on this one. Alright, we are ready to go once again. We are back. Solid rotation coming in from Team Showboat. They see multiple members in the mid, and they're going to go directly in onto this bottom front wall, which is definitely the priority lane here on Towers of Doom. Both of these sapper camps in the bottom area of the map do rotate into the bottom lane, so you can get a lot of advantage if you can hold both of these bottom bell towers. And we're going to see the 2 bottom altars spawning here. So we'll have to see how these teams want to prioritize. Team Showboat has already rotated Sonya in here. Full level and a half until level 10s come in, so we won't see that being a factor until the next Giant Space. Giannis is going to start capping. Shadow Leaves going to punish him a little bit with a big orb. And nice zoning coming out here. Giannis is actually going to finish this cap in the bot area. Blue Popsicle up here also harassing the members of Kentucky Murloc Chicken, not allowing them to 3 cap in the top. So it's going to be even on the count so far, but one team will go ahead. Who will it be? And being chunked here is the Garrosh. Yonner's also now turning this focus onto Norian, who's going to have to walk away with very low health. And that's going to be the first kill of the game for Team Showboat as they go ahead and cap themselves. Actually, they lost that cap. That cap went over to KMC. Very interesting. I actually missed that. Not bad. Faith in Goku to carry them to a victory. All right, well, nothing wrong with that. Goku up here in the top lane, getting the better of Blue Popsicle for the moment. Spear missing there. Point blank spear, that's pretty rough. I'm gonna have to go ahead and back up and tap. Meanwhile, camp being captured here for Team Showboat. Level 10s are here, so they don't want to be too overly aggressive. Leap coming out from Sonya. Much aggression coming out from our local barbarian. Goku's got to be careful here. Blue Popsicle wants to force the issue here. Nice rotation, though, on the bottom area here from Team Showboat. They're going to cap both of these. And with those level 10s, there's just no way they can contest. Groundbreaker. Going to hit 3. Nice, solid Q there from Undead. Push the Sappers in. One will die on the way there. Couple making it through. We're going to push the other 2 in as well, and they are chunking out this bell tower. We're not going to stay in too long, though. Level 10's right around the corner for KMC. Can be coming in anytime. By the way, yeah, Commandeer Odin, Mosh Pit, along with that leap. It is indeed Cups and the Riptire. Level 10's coming in now for KMC.
Do not disappoint me.
First we'll have this altar phase. Slide in from Axel. They dive in as well with the Mosh Pit and the Cups coming out. The Riptire coming in. Chunks down Goku and Sonya. But that poison damage from the spear ends up finishing it out. We're going to have the Odin pop as well. So holy ultimates, bad man. Everybody hits those R buttons, and the win definitely goes over to Team Showboat. 4 for nothing exchange. They get this altar cap. They march to the bottom lane and are going to cap this. And those, ladies and gentlemen, the 5 ults over on the side of Team Showboat. These are all power ults that, you know, have long cooldowns, like extremely long cooldowns. But you can pop these, and it makes it very hard to contest you on anything. When you've got the ridiculous amount of healing that's coming in from the Jug of 1,000 Cups. The Riptire, very, very difficult to deal with. Mosh Pit, of course, just insanely dangerous to engage onto, especially when it's set up by this leap from Sonya and followed up by the Commandeer Odin from Yonners. So much threat potential. And it's going to be timed well. If this team just holds these ultimates and doesn't waste them uselessly in these in-between laning phases, they are going to be able to utilize these as soon as they want to force a shrine. And they should be pretty much indestructible when those are going on. Unstoppable.
Once more, the altars rise from the depths.
If you hold this bottom bell tower, Sharp One not quite able to zone them out enough. It looks like they are rotating down, but now 20 seconds until the altars are capped here. I'm starting to wonder if we're going to see the rotation, which team's going to rotate and which teams are not. Shadow Leaves kind of heading up right now. Looks like for right now, Murloc Chicken debating just staying down here. They are going to get the cap started by Norian. Honors is going to try and get in here, but a nice root from Goku. Going to zone them off just long enough that Yonners cannot get in, even with that quarterbacked grenade.
Bring down the Gravekeeper's call.
And at the very least, Kentucky Murloc Chicken going to go ahead and avoid the big team fight and all those giant ultimates and the 13 talent tier advantage. And going to go ahead and trade out the shrines. And they get bot back. They prevent the sappers from walking in. That 100% is a winning exchange for Kentucky Murloc Chicken. No doubt about it. They did not get the bell tower in time to prevent the difference in shots, so they do remain 2 down. But at this point, they've got their 13 talent tier. They're rotating in on this bottom area. It is a 4v4 though, so they're not wanting to be too overly aggressive. Nice concussion from Olympico to prevent Garrosh from really being able to get in there to do much. And meanwhile, Yonners taking him down with that minigun. Holy crap! A lot of damage, man. Odin gonna be popped if they try and siege in here to get back this bell tower. Nice juke there from Yonners, able to dodge the combo from Shadow Leaps. And they are poking it down, and at this point, the capping this altar is pretty big. If they're able to cap this, there's not going to be enough time on the clock for KMC to try and get it back. Leonar sticking around, gonna throw in the grenade, and a couple of those little mines there from Lampico. Gonna be just enough to pop it. And now this is gonna be 5 bell towers owned. 5 shots owned, I should say.
Swift,
Team Showboat.
Do not let the Gravekeeper's
They'll trade out in top.
The altars before you.
Dav will pick up the one in bottom. 10 shots going over to Team Showboat. 3 going over to Kentucky Murloc Chicken. And just like that, maths, a 9-shot lead here for KMC. Or for Team Showboat, I should say. Team Showboat with the 9 point. I got all the maths right. I just, you know, flubbed it right at the end. That's how it works. Axel Foley gets tossed, has the slide to disengage.
Hero, I have opened a tunnel near our core that leads to the bottom.
Pico gonna go ahead and cap the shrine.
What? I mean, I knew I could do
Pro level control here, suffocating the chicken. That's a little rough for sure. And they are holding this bottom bell tower. They have the pumpkin sappers marching their way on in. Face melt trying to push him back. The sapper right on the line. Dav goes ahead and pops the jugs just to heal them up a bit. But the sappers get cleared out here by KMC. Not going to suffer any more core shots right at this moment. But you got to look at this next altar phase. Single altar in the bot lane. And with this bell tower owned here and bot by Team Showboat, that makes it very, very difficult for KMC to try and get in to contest this. They don't have the level 16, so I'm not sure they would want to contest it anyway. But just goes to this constant chokehold that Team Showboat has right now. Blue Popsicle also putting a massive amount of pressure on this mid bell tower.
Take the altars.
They have Blue Popsicle surrounded though, and the leap out. Oh, solid play from Sonya here. But look at the instant rotation here from KMC. Very bold move. They're going to dive directly in to try and get this boss off the map. I like this call. They are, however, giving over 3 shots in the bot, so it is only really like it really only is a 1-shot advantage for them. But, you know, don't have to worry about the boss later. They get the 16 talent tier advantage without having to worry about engaging against Team Showboat. Even up that advantage anyway. Undead trying to find a throw on anybody here. Axel Foley with a nice face melt and the follow-up as well. Knocking him back twice here. Nonners has popped that Odin. Poking him down. Tons of harass onto Norian. Oh, but a nice root comes out onto Axel Foley. He's getting low. An instant interrupt there by Shadow Leaves with that force, that wave of force. Be able to interrupt that mosh. DTC goes down. All the while, Sonya just split. Team Showboat. There never is 5. Kentucky Murloc Chicken wants to go in and engage. And this time, Blue Popsicle have to use the leap out again, but Norian was ready for it this time. The wave of force knocks him back, the toss. And Blue Popsicle not going to get away with that magician trick twice in one game. However, the camp is picked up in the bot lane. Double altars in the top, and 4 of these bell towers are still owned by KMC. They are going super aggressive. They're looking to cap both of these.
Be swift, heroes.
Oh, and we actually have Goku down here in the bot, defending this out. Norian, though, is not going to be able to get this in time. They do cap on their own side. The sharp one has picked up the first here. But either one, just this one cap will be enough for them to end the game. Norian does get the cap, though. Nice zoning by the sharp one. Can actually get the kill on the Junkrat. Does spawn the reset here for Shadow Leaves, but I'm going to go ahead and back up. They've gotten all they can really expect to get, I think. They get those 6 shots, and now all of a sudden, take a step back, and 5 to 12 on the core count right now. Both the mid and the top bell towers are a little bit low. About 3/4 of a level lead here for Team Showboat in this race to 20. But this is not over yet, folks. Kentucky Murloc Chicken have hung around in this game long enough to be able to put themselves in a position to make a comeback at the last minute. They recap the bottom bell tower. They're going to be able to clear these bottom sappers for free. Sonya is up at top getting these, so the top bell tower will go down here. No doubt about that. They have got this locked in. Also, the mid bell tower taking some heat. This is still definitely a favorable position for the side of Team Showboat. So this is not over yet. Definitely not counting them out. They might want to try to engage here. Like, this is the opportunity the KMC really wants to try to get in. Oh, just barely missing the groundbreaker there. Once again, Blue Popsicle popping that leap just for the escape potential. Axel Foley charging in here, and they are going to get the mid bell tower as well. It's a big power play coming out from Team Showboat. They only needed one of the bell towers, but there's no reason for them to not get both there. They also now have level 20, and this is looking rough for KMC. They're going to need to pull off some kind of miracle here, down the 20 talent tier. Right away, the Sharp One taking a ton of harass. The mosh pit comes out, but that is going to be Brawl falling here. Off of that, the ice block comes out from Norian, but he's not going to be able to stay alive for long with Yonner's poking him in there. Big red button falling down, taking out the Garrosh. And just like that, Team Showboat walks in here tonight, gets themselves a 2-0 victory over Kentucky Murloc Chicken, and are going to move themselves into their next series tonight against Knights of the Round, looking to see if they can pick up 6 points in one night. They're able to definitely complete that first 3 with style here. Macro play coming out. Just in general, a lot of pressure, constantly applying pressure. KMC, not a whole lot of scrappy team fighting in that one, but Team Showboat definitely showing us how Dragonshire and Towers are played. Good solid rotations throughout both of those maps. See if we can get in an interview here with Team Captain Yonners. I am totally okay if they don't want to, though. I know they've got another match here in 13, so they may just want to reset. But I will let them be the deciders of that one. But either way, pretty solid play coming out from KMC as well. You gotta give them a lot of credit. In both maps, they hung around. They found ways to stick around in the game long enough to try and get those comebacks rolling. Dragonshire, they had a really nice team fight, and around the middle of the mid to end of the game there to come back and have a shot. They get a Dragon Knight cap. But they take one, that one team fight goes the wrong way. Showboat finishes it off. And then this one, again, hanging around long enough to give themselves a chance. Not quite able to find the end gauge they wanted. And the real star of the stream has finally showed up. Ysera, ladies and gentlemen. But looks like we are going to go ahead and take a break. All right, so I am going to go ahead and get set up for the next one, and we'll be right back in just about 10 minutes here with Team Showboat versus Knights of the Round. So don't go anywhere. See you guys in a bit.